What makes you smile more than a bouquet of fresh flowers from a friend or family member? A recent study found that flowers positively affect our emotional health and well-being. Flowers immediately increase our level of happiness, makes intimate connections, and impact our long-term emotions, leaving us feeling more satisfied and fulfilled. What could be more special is if you could design your own bouquet that you give to a friend or family member. Floral design and plant design is the art of creating beautiful arrangements that convey meaning and emotion with flowers, leaves, ornaments, and other foliage. Okay, today we're going to make a round arrangement. And the first thing we're going to start with is I have cut the foam block. So this is Oasis foam, and I've soaked it in water for 3 hours to make sure everything is hydrated. I'm gonna use a third of the block and I'm gonna set it in here. I'm gonna take a little bit of tape to secure it to my container. I'm using a bowl today and I'm just gonna secure it down so that it stays taped down and secured down while we work on our arrangement. Okay, the first component we're going to use is we're going to use carnations. We're going to cut them to a 45-degree angle. So I'm going to cut some lengths. I want it to be for my arrangement so I can set it into the foam. I'm going to cut 9 of them. So I have 9 carnations that we're going to start out with. I'm going to place the first one inside. You can see they're placed all the way around the container for right now. The next item I'm going to use leather leaf. This is going to be our greenery, and I'm going to cut it and I'll make 2 cuts. I'm going to cut into 2 sections. This is going to fill in our foam area, and I'm going to go ahead and place this in around the focal flowers. I'm making that 45-degree angle, which allows it to go into the foam easily. Okay, we've added enough greens that we have our focals that are coming outside of our green area. We have the green going around the center. We're filling it in. Now this allows us time that we can take and have 7 to 9, depending on what we need, of our football mums. So we're pulling them apart. You can see if there's any petals that are discarded or down, we can go ahead and remove those from there. But we also want to make our cuts, again, at that 45-degree angle. Remember, we're wanting it to be circular and round, so we want to keep those dimensions of that round element and cutting at the 45-degree angle. We're going to add this color contrast of these focals on the inside. The one thing to keep a note of using foam, once you make that hole, you know it's going to stay there. So it's going to be hard for you to place another item if that stem is smaller. So you got to make sure that you're going to insert it and make that one cut in there. At this time, we can kind of look. We might have to make a small cut and bring that down if the depth and the heights are a little too much. So if it's giving you too much height and it's causing some issues, you can always work it down further down. Carnations are real nice that you can kind of fluff them if needed and pull them out. We can move the greenery, but you can see it's a nice round arrangement. We have that round circular shape to it. At this time, we can add some filler flowers. We can bring in status if we have it. What we have here, I have 5 stems of alströmia, and it's this nice peach color with the white with the contrast. If I had status, I could add that to this. This one has some greenery to it. It gives a little more texture and fullness. I'm gonna make the 45-degree cut. Again, when we're working with foam, we wanna make sure we have a nice cut to it so we can insert it, add those fillers in there. This is a larger stem. We might have to cut it a little bit shorter than what we have been. But it just adds this nice filler element. We can kind of pull them around and have these fillers in there. At this time, we can add some airy elements. This is willow eucalyptus. I like this one because they have nice skinny little branches to them. It's a nice airy texture to it. This one's broken so we can take and cut. This has some nice little airy branches, as you can see in here. This will give us some of that airy texture elements that we want. We can add, and if we see any of our foam, we can kind of fill in and use our textured elements to go ahead and cover any of that green foam that might be showing. We don't want to take the height too much, but we want to have a little dimension, and we want to keep it this nice round. We now have our nice round arrangement that's complete. We pull it down. We can kind of turn it around, and we can see this is a nice round arrangement. It's compact. It's down in there. We're using our minimal amount of product, but we still have a really full arrangement. The goal is to have a valued arrangement of $35 to $40, and this definitely meets that need.